But this wokedom, let's talk about the factories of woke that produce this woke generation, the universities. Now, you've done a landmark audit, you call it. It's a check of the, I didn't know there were so many, 791 history subjects offered across 35 Australian universities. I love history, but what did you find?
Well, Andrew, I found that history isn't being taught as a study of the past anymore. It's really being taught as a sort of mishmash of post-colonial theory, of queer theory, of gender theory, of postmodernist critical race theory. What's happened in the history departments is that many historians have completely jettisoned the past and they've replaced it with what really is sociology. It's a study of society, but through a particular lens of this identity politics and this woke lens that we've just been talking about that is being used by our Australian cricketers, and it is coming straight out of the universities. And you know, this has deep implications for society, and it has deep implications for the nation, because you know, if you forget the past, then how do you recognise dangers to your personal sovereignty? How do you recognise dangers, threats to your freedom? You know, you make the same mistakes over and over again. We're doomed to making the same mistakes, and it's quite dangerous because you know historians are there to safeguard the past and to keep that past in the present in a way so that we know not to make those mistakes again, and that's clearly not happening.
Well, if they're not studying the Renaissance, you know, if they're not studying the Industrial Revolution, if they're not studying things like that, the disaster of the French Revolution, what are they studying?
Well, I can tell you that they're studying race rather than democracy. They're studying identity over enlightenment, and they're studying sexuality over the Reformation and the Renaissance. These are the modern day preoccupations of current historians. It's not all historians, but in general, they've recast themselves, as I said, as sociologists. They're not interested in the past. They're interested in the future, and they're interested in achieving a sort of utopian future for society. And it's a real shame. But you know, it's difficult for students now thinking about what they're going to study next year if they're thinking of studying history and really wanting to get to grips with Western civilization and understand modern Australia. They're going to struggle. I mean, they haven't learned it at school, and they're certainly not going to be being taught it at university. So, you know, it's a difficult thing for students who are genuinely interested in history.
Well, it's going to be where they'll have all the right opinions or right-on opinions. You know, Australia was racist. They won't actually know exactly why they should think that. That's the thing. They'll have all the opinions, few of the facts. I really fear for the next generation, for the reasons that you explained so beautifully before. Bella de Brera, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Andrew.